This video is being put together to give you an opportunity to see these problems on the last quiz and what you need to do with these problems. Remember, there's 3 rules that are in your notes that you are going to use throughout this quiz. There is the product rule, the quotient rule, and the power rule. And there may be some combinations of those. For problem number 1, I notice that I have a product here. I'm multiplying u squared times v to the 6th power. So I'm going to use the product rule and write this as log base 7 of u squared plus log base 7 of v to the 6th power. Then I also notice that I have powers that are involved, so I'm going to use the power rule and take the power, drop it out front, and write it as 2 log base 7 of u plus 6 log base 7 of v. We're done with that problem. This next problem, I notice that I have a quotient, but I have a power of a quotient. So in this case, I'm going to do the power first. Here, I did not have a power of the product, so I did the product first. This one, I'm taking a power of a quotient. So I'm going to use the power rule first. So the 5 comes out front. So I have 5 log base 5 of this x to the 5th over y. All right, now whatever I do with this, I'm going to take 5 times this log. So because this is a quotient, I'm going to write this as 5, and I'm going to use parentheses here because I'm going to multiply 5 times whatever this is, this is going to be log base 5 of x to the 5th power minus log base 5 of y. I have a power in here, so I need to rewrite that. So I have 5 times log 5 of log base 5 of x minus log base 5 of y. And then I need to multiply this 5, which came from this power, times this 5 that came from that power. 5 times 5 is 25, so it's 25 log base 5 of x minus, I have to distribute this 5. This 5 times this is 5 log base 5 of y. We're done with that problem. This next problem, we want to condense this, and I notice I have a sum. I'm adding these, and that relates to the product rule, but we have this 2 in front of this log, so that 2 has to come up and become a power, so that's the power rule. So I'm just going to write this as log 2 of a plus log base 2 of b plus log base 2 of c squared. And then I've got the sum of all these, so that's the product rule, so log base 2 of a times b times c squared. Done. This next problem, I see I have a number in front of the log, so that is the power rule. I have it here and there, so I'm going to move this up, become a power, so log base 7 of 3 to the 5th power minus log base 7 of 10 to the 6th power. Because of the subtraction, it's the quotient rule, so I have log base 7 of 3 to the 5th power over 10 to the 6th power. Now you can calculate that. That's actually equivalent to 243 over 1 million. All right? Evaluate this expression. You were taught to evaluate logarithmic expressions by setting the expression equal to a variable. This is your base, that's your power, so just change it to exponential form. So 2 to the x power is equal to 32. So 2 to what power is 32? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. 2 to the 5th power is 32, so x is equal to 5. This one here, there's a number of different ways that you could think about this one. If you want to think of this as the log base 5 of 1 over 5 cubed, because 5 cubed is 125, I could write this as the log base 5 of 5 to the negative 3 power, because that's in the denominator, make the exponent negative, and then use the power rule, bring the negative 3 out front, negative 3 log base 5 of 5, and the log of a base of the same number is 1, so that's just going to be negative 3. On these, you are given these values for log of 12, log of 7, log of 10, and I need to find the log of 1 over 49. So I can think of this as a quotient rule, so it's log base 8 of 1 minus the log base 8 of 49. Log of 1 of anything is 0, so it's 0 minus. Now I've got the log of 49. Well, I don't have that as an option, but I know 49 is 7 times 7, so I could think of this as the log of base 8 of 7 plus the log base 8 of 7. So that simply means I'm going to put that in parentheses because I've got the negative of that whole thing. So I'm just going to add log base 8 of 7 to itself. So it's going to be 0.9 plus 0.9 is 1.8. And don't forget about that negative. So it's negative 1.8. This next one, I have log 10, 7, and 4. I have the log base 3 of 49. So that's log base 3 of 7 times 7, which is log base 3 of 7 plus the log base 3 of 7. That's the power rule. So I'm just going to add 1.8 plus 1.8 is 3.6. I want to expand this logarithm. I am looking at this and I see a power, a product. So I'm going to do the product rule first. So log base 2 of z squared plus the log base 2 of, I'm going to think of this as a power. A cube root is a x to the 1/3 power. I'm going to apply the power rule, take the 2 out front, so it's 2 log base 2 of z plus, again, power rule, where the 1/3 out front is 1/3 log base 2 of x, and that's done. That's been expanded. To expand this one, I notice I have a quotient dividing, so it's log base 6 of a cubed minus log base 6 of b to the 4th power. I'm going to deal with a power rule because of the powers, so bring the power up front. 3 log base 6 of a minus 4 log base 6 of b. And that is a quick review of the last quiz that you took.